What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Seth Rollins reveals his return timeline, the Bloodline is angry about a WWE firing, a WWE star tried to ruin Becky Lynch's career, PENTA breaks his silence on his injury, 2 championship changes on NXT, prayers for a wrestling legend, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's do the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, first story looks at Seth Rollins reveals his return timeline. Atop of today's news is a major medical update concerning WWE star Seth Rollins. Seth suffered a shoulder injury at last October's Crown Jewel match against Cody Rhodes, and he was written off WWE television after his alleged teammates in the Vision of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed laying him out on Raw, turning their back on him and kicking him out of the group. The Visionary chatted with Bert Kreischer on Something's Burning, discussing his injury and explaining when he plans to return. Once I get the sling off, which is in like another month, then it might be full vacation mode for a little while, before I lock in and have to start training to get ready to come back. You may recall estimates that Seth wouldn't be back until after WrestleMania 42, but Seth gave a much more optimistic return date. It'll probably be gradual, I don't even really know. My guess is 8 to 12 weeks of, okay, now I have to stop eating like an asshole. Probably 12 weeks. Plus we'll be moving right into WrestleMania season, I'm hoping around February. After all the holiday stuff, I can start to be like, lock in, no more BS. Now, according to Wrestling News' analysis of the report, Becky Lynch, who was with Seth at the interview, tried to inject some reality into Seth's personal prognosis, leading to Rollins changing things up a bit. Probably after the Super Bowl and stuff. Give myself a month before I come back. I don't even know. They say 6 months, so this could be April. Rollins' eventual in-ring return raises some fascinating questions, including how he will react to Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker attacking him, and whether this will distract him from Seth's vendetta against CM Punk. Next up, the Bloodline angry about WWE firing. A Bloodline member, Lance Anoa'i, who was signed with WWE in the summer of 2024, has recently now opened up on why he was released from the company. According to Anoa'i, the main reason was a streak of injuries, despite him having almost 2 more years on his WWE contract. I still had another 2 years on my contract. I found out, I forget the day, cause from that moment on, I knew it was right back to the grind. I was blessed to be there, I was happy to be there, I learned a lot. Unfortunately, injuries weren't on my side. I think just the injuries is what cost me everything. I cost the company more money than what I was making them. I was one of the older ones there. Back-to-back injuries. Anoa'i explained that these injuries were serious enough that they disrupted his momentum and prevented him from contributing consistently. While signing with WWE had marked a major milestone in his pro wrestling career and held a lot of promise, the physical toll from injuries outweighed that possibility. Lance would even mention that he wasn't injured when he signed with WWE, but was hurt at the Performance Center. Lance mentioned it was a sports hernia, which then he got cleared for 3 weeks and then tore his shoulder right after that. But whilst this may be a good enough reason for WWE to release him, as they can't have a wrestler who's injury prone, the Bloodline family was not happy. My family was very upset, especially my dad, but honestly, it was they knew I didn't get the opportunity. They knew I could have been up there. I could have been one of the top guys. I could have been with Solo. I could have been with Roman. I could have been wherever. You just put me in that spot, I could have ran with it. Now hopefully Lance Anoa'i comes back stronger and may get another chance with WWE and eventually join his cousins in the Bloodline. Next up, a WWE star tried to ruin Becky Lynch's career. Becky Lynch is opening about her early years in WWE, revealing that there was an individual in the industry well known for taking advantage of his power to ruin female wrestlers' careers. Whilst on the Bert Kreischer show, she revealed that she was told to avoid a particular male in the company, even though she didn't name names. At the time, it was also, stay away from the boys, don't go near the boys, no, stay away from the boys. But it was certain things like, I'm not going to name names, but there was a guy on the main roster who was like, be careful, because if one, he'll try to sleep with you, if he sleeps with you, then he'll blacklist you. And if he tries to sleep with you and you don't sleep with him, he'll also blacklist you. So there was this line that you had to walk, this tightrope. You know him definitely, but anyway, at one point, it was like, how do you walk this line of, you know what I mean? Lynch added, so there was always this thing of like, if you get into a relationship and things go south, they're not going to fire the guy. They're always going to fire the girl, you know? So it was a very, very scary thing. Double standards isn't limited to wrestling, but that doesn't make it any better. It's good that Lynch managed to avoid this individual in question. In fact, she should have revealed his name. Next up, PENTA breaks silence on his injury. PENTA is out with a shoulder injury following his unfortunate injury during his 25th November Raw match against Solo Sikoa. PENTA is now telling fans not to worry. Thank you to everyone who has checked on me. The injury tested my body and spirit, but it also awakened the strength that has always guided me. I'm a Mexican warrior forged in struggle, honor, and heart. And though the fall was hard, I rose with a fire stronger than ever. To my rival, my deepest respect. Thank you for your professionalism and for a clean, dignified battle. I recognize your dedication and honor. I will be back very soon, stronger, more prepared, and determined to finish what I left pending. Thank you for standing with me because this war still has chapters to be written. PENTA didn't mention any return date from his injury, but it didn't seem to be that serious. We're hoping that PENTA has a fast and full recovery. Next up, 2 championship changes on NXT. A Tuesday was a big night for 2 talents as 2 championships changed hands last night on the 25th November Gold Rush edition of NXT. As Li Yingli bested Knockouts World Champion Kalani Jordan Grace to become the new champion. In addition, a new Women's Speed Champion was crowned as Fallon Henley defeated Zarya. Bodyslam.net reported Zarya and Fallon Henley qualified through a tournament to challenge each other for the vacant Women's Speed Championship. The match went into sudden death after the 5-minute time limit expired and neither superstar had scored a fall. According to Hayes, the match concluded afterwards, saying, Zarya went for another spear, but Mulaney Reid moved Henley out of the way and Zarya crashed into the steps. Henley rolls Zarya back into the ring and hits a Shining Wizard followed by the leg drop Bulldog. Winner and new Women's Speed Champion Fallon Henley. Major congratulations to Fallon on her latest success. Next up, John Cena makes waves on NXT. NXT fans were in for a treat as John Cena appeared on week 2 of NXT's Gold Rush special to announce the participants in the men's and women's Iron Survivor Challenge. John Cena announced that the men's field for the NXT deadline on December 6 will include Javon Evans, TNA X Division champion Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox from Darkside, and Miles Bourne. As for the female stars, Cena also confirmed the women's lineup as Sol Rucker, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan Grace, and Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray. The challenge is a major opportunity as it grants its winners an NXT Championship and NXT Women's Championship match. WWE is making sure to utilize John Cena's tremendous goodwill with the WWE Universe, whether it's appearances on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. What do you guys think of Cena's picks? Well, we say Cena's picks, it's WWE's picks and Cena's mentioning them. But what do you think of the entrance? Next up, Raw and SmackDown mega shows set for December. Now, fans attending the 19th December edition of SmackDown are in for a treat as they also get to attend the taping for the 22nd December episode of Raw. X-account Elite Rock has recently tweeted WWE is set to run a Raw and SmackDown double taping on December 19th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. SmackDown will air that night, with the December 22nd episode of Raw being taped afterward. This should be quite the stacked card as WWE pre-tapes Raw to give its wrestlers and crew time off to celebrate the holidays. Next up, good news for Raw. Now, speaking of the red brand, WWE should be happy to hear that the 17th November edition of Raw pulled its best numbers in months. The Observer's Josh Nation reported, released via the weekly Tudum report, the show did 3.1 million global views, up from the previous week's 2.8 million global views and their highest number since August 4th. The show had 5.8 million global hours viewed and the highest mark since August 4th. Now, the reason for the impressive ratings is likely due to John Cena. The show was billed as Cena's final appearances from Madison Square Garden and his final match in the famed venue, as was teased on social media throughout the day. It also featured more matches in his The Last Time Is Now tournament. John Cena's farewell tour continues to impress, and fans have to wonder how it would have worked out had WWE not decided to turn Cena heel early on, leading to fan indifference until WWE quietly dropped the angle. Do you think Cena's heel turn hurt his farewell tour? Next up, prayers for a WWE Hall of Famer. A WWE Hall of Famer Ricky Morton is dealing with health issues, but is letting his many fans know that he's fighting the good fight. Morton, immortalized for his role as one half of the legendary tag team The Rock and Roll Express, tweeted, "I've been fighting walking pneumonia for the past 2 weeks, and man, it has absolutely kicked my ass. Even a walk to the mailbox has felt like a full-on marathon, taking it day by day, keeping my faith strong, and trusting this bounce back is coming." Morton revolutionized the concept of the babyface in peril during his team with Robert Gibson, taking a hell of a beating as fans cheered him to make a hot tag. Morton would take things to new heights, leading to the concept of a babyface in peril, making the hot tag become known as playing Ricky Morton. Now, Morton is still wrestling even today at the age of 69, competing in a match in GCW recently against Kerry Morton. Next up, Sid Vicious Legacy honored in charity event. Sid Vicious sadly is no longer with us, but his son Gunnar is honoring his famous father's legacy with a charity event. The X-Account Book Pro Wrestlers tweeted the following news. Sid's son Gunnar is raising money for his first wrestling ring, and he's doing it all for the right reasons. He's launching the first annual Psycho Sid Memorial Benefit Show, with 100% of the profits going to local animal shelters in Crittenden County, because that's what his dad loved most. A young man honoring his father through wrestling, charity, and purpose. That's how a legacy is carried forward. All the best to Gunnar's charity. And finally, well, New Jack finally makes it in WWE. And last but not least, hardcore icon New Jack is finally getting his own action figure. New Jack, well known for his appetite for destruction and borderline criminal behavior in the ring, will be honored with his own action figure. Cageside Seats reported that New Jack will finally get his own WWE action figure, complete with staple gun accessory and bloody heads. And New Jack unfortunately passed away in 2021 at the age of 58, so this is a great way to honor the ECW legend. But there you have it, folks. I will look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with more wrestling content.